Episode number 245 of NoCoders Office Hours. I'm your host, Tanya, and I'm here with members Ben, Brittany, Kelly, Dana, Sebastian, and Nathan. We're going to get started in just a moment, but first I want to tell you about this thing called Office Hours. We have what's called a developer membership at NoCoders, and it comes with a whole bunch of things, but the flagship product is Office Hours, where we do 6 Zoom sessions every week, and our members can come and ask us any bubble question that they want, and we do our darndest to get it answered during office hours. And if we can't get it answered during office hours, we usually take it out of office hours and still try to get it answered, because nobody likes an unfinished puzzle around here. So if you are building in Bubble and have any questions that you think you would like help with, please do go to pronocoders.com and sign up. There's a freemium model where you can sign up and you just can kind of feel what we're all about, or you could just go ahead and sign up for office hours with the developer membership and come and meet us, and we can help get you unstuck in Bubble. So we're going to go ahead and get started with Kelly today. Kelly, welcome back.
Hello.
I'm pretty excited to see what Kelly's building next.
Right? Same. I feel the same.
Yeah, after the brilliance of Canada, it's going to be something special.
Oh, you guys. Well, I'm working on my own app right now. This was my first Bubble project ever, and it has evolved quite a bit. So I'm having some issues with reusables. So I will go ahead and share my screen, if that's all right.
Of course.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. So what I am trying to do, when I originally built, I'm upgrading everything to the new responsive engine right now. So that's my sort of task. But initially when I built this, I didn't know how to really use reusable, so I just didn't. And the title of each page was a big challenge for me. So often it's just like a static, this is the title of the page. And then I would have some like a subtitle. Let me make this a little bigger so you can see. Or not, I don't know, nothing showing up there. But basically now I have converted everything. I have a reusable header bar that's back here. But I'm struggling with how to get all this sort of dynamic stuff into the reusable. So here's the reusable, right? And it has a header and it has a subtitle, right? Or like a title and a subtitle. But then I have the original, and this is all of the stuff that I need to go into it. Mm-hmm. So what I had done initially was I have a workflow on the page that when the page is loaded, it sets the states of the reusable, right? So the reusable has 2 states. It has a subtitle text, and then it has page title text, right? But I can't seem to get anything but like one expression in here. I can't do text. I can't do all of this madness. And so I'm trying to just figure out how to get it in there.
I have a simple solution for you.
Oh, please.
I would make a page data type in your database, and I would make one for each of your pages, and I would put all of those things that you're concatenating together in different fields, right?
Yeah,
and then I would just edit it dynamically.
That is what I've done, basically. So it's just that like this one has like so many things, and there's conditionals on it, right? So it's not always the same number of items, if that makes sense. So for this one,
I don't understand the issue. Maybe go into.
Yeah. So, okay. So basically what I've done is I have a prefix for the subtitle, right? So project type : and then I would have, oh, is it not in there? Did I delete it? I guess I deleted it. Yeah, I had another like subtitle text, right? That was just text. So you're saying I should just have like subtitle text 1, subtitle text 2, subtitle text 3, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, whatever you need to show dynamically in your header, based on which page you're on, right? And
Yeah.
so then you're yeah, and then you can show things dynamically as you need to. I think that's way easier, not just for like solving the problem that you're having, but also maintenance. I think we did something similar with one of your apps, Nathan, right? I don't know if you remember, but
What about sort of these like little interstitial things, right? So like I need this to have like a little divider line and then a parentheses and the word due. And how can I get
so
all
it's
of
not
those?
going to be the same every time when the person pulls up that page. There's going to be some like things that
Yeah.
are changing about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like there's a
It's
dash and there's a, yeah.
yeah, it's there's not much we can do about that as far as I know.
Boo.
Boo. Yeah, I mean, you might be able to do something where you use a rich text editor and
Yeah.
create the inputs for this kind of stuff in like an admin portal, right?
I was thinking about having like an invisible text element on the page that is this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like, for example, this text subtitle, page subtitle. Let's see if that works. Instead of just doing the, a simple expression, could I do text? No, I can't. I can't just say reference that field, can I? That element.
Well, do you have the element on the page? I don't think you do, right?
I do. It's just invisible right now, I think. Yeah, so let me make it visible. It should be visible now. There it is. So I don't know if it needs to be visible. No, I mean, does it need to be a rich text field?
You should be able to access inputs there.
It's not an input though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you cannot pull text elements data into a workflow. It would have to be an input.
Got it. So
You can use an input to display data like a text element though. So
if basically the initial content, right? It would just be the initial content is this expression, copy. See, I've had so many, I can't paste expressions into like these fields. This is from months ago, a different project altogether. I can't paste. Does anyone else have that issue?
You have to click into the field first.
I think I did. I mean, oh, you're saying no, that's.
Wait, so paste and paste expression are two different things. So if you're
right.
Yeah, so you would have to like you're not pasting the expression, you were just clicking paste. So click insert dynamic data and then right click and paste expression.
Oh my God. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, but that's only doing one small part of it.
Yeah, so now if you click there and click out of there and copy and click copy and not copy expression, so just copy. Now you should be able to paste that the way you were pasting before.
Oh my God, that is too much. Okay.
Nope.
No.
Just clear the expression and then click in there and right click. Nope, you're not going to paste an expression.
There you go. Okay.
There you go. Yeah, it's two different. Yeah, it's two different clipboards basically.
That is very silly. Okay, so then I should be able to multi-line input its value. Yeah. And that now, let's see. Okay, so I think I need to, am I on the right page? Pull language. I need to go into a project first. Oh, I need to run S. 1 second. Okay, so here are my projects. Aha, it worked. Okay, so I just need to put it in an input. God, that's so weird. And then I need to have that, I suppose I do need to have that visible on the page for it to populate.
Say that one more time.
Does this have to be visible when?
No, it doesn't. It can be invisible. That's fine.
Okay.
I usually put things like that into a pop-up that is never called the show.
Oh, that's so smart. Oh, that's so smart. Okay, sweet. All right, that solves the issue. That is what I needed. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, done. I'm done.
No worries. Let's see here. Let's move to, I think we said Sebastian was next.
Super. Yeah, I'm continuing working on my app where a lot of users are working around. It's a team that is having a workshop, and this team in this workshop, they are doing sort of a voting. I'm going to share my screen.
Perfect.
We solved it. So they have this slider where they check in, and after a while, after we're working with the app for a while, I understand that it shouldn't be saved on the team because perhaps it could, but it's actually a workshop, and a team can have several workshops. So I rebuilt the database. So I have the workshop as the central unit. But I realized that when we did this, we didn't save it to a team. So we had a voting, and then we created a tally and an API backend workflow. But I don't really get it to work fully. So I create a check-in, and I added the current page workshop, and this works. So when I look in the data of the check-ins, now compared to previously, I now have the current workshop connected to the check-in. But when I go down to the backend workflow, I have a similar voting later in the workshop. And that is set up in a different way. Then I have the value, the label, and the team, and that works. But here I have the tally set up in the API workflow set up in a different way, and I don't get it really to work, because when I look at the data here for the tally workshop, all check-ins here, it just creates a singular, it just overwrites the workshop.
Oh, right, because you're, okay, so you're, we're making changes there instead of creating new things.
So I should create a new thing, and if there is one of them, if there isn't one of them, if there is one of them, I should change it.
Right. So you need a set of tally check-ins per workshop is what I'm understanding. right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is then go to the actual workflow up at the top. Nope. The workflow tally. There you go. So check-in 2, check-in 3, check-in 4. Where are we scheduling this one and why? Let's go to see where this is scheduled.
Yeah, it's under the workshop here. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you schedule it after you've created a new check-in. But it looks like it's and then it schedules the tally. So go to that button. Yep, if you just right click, reveal the element. Okay, so so the user is clicking the save button and it's going and creating the check-ins, right? So go back to the workflow. So it creates all of these new check-ins and then it schedules the API workflow and it sends in, go ahead and click that. It sends in 4, but you have 5 there. That's weird. It looks like you need to add a 5th one there.
Yeah. Do I? Yeah. I only have 4, so maybe it's one is double.
Okay. So then go to the backend workflow.
Ambitious, happy, ambitious. Take this away. Okay.
Right. Yep. If you go to the backend workflow.
I just want to check. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Should it be maybe like in order, perhaps?
Sure. That makes my brain happier. I don't know if Bubble cares. Okay, so then we're making changes to the tally check-in, but it should be okay. So here's where we need to add in the tally in the API workflow.
Yeah.
We need to go to the workflow, add a new parameter at the bottom, and call it workshop. And then it'll be of type workshop. And then what we want to do is go back to the other page where you schedule this one. And now we need to add in the correct workshop. So how do you find it's the current page workshop, right? Okay.
Yes.
So now when we go back to the back end workflows, we'll be able to select that workshop as you're updating that make changes to tally check-in. The other thing here that's missing is that the tally check-in should already exist, right? So the workshop should have a list of tally check-ins. So make changes to tally check-in, go in there, and the tally check-in that you're going to change up at the top there, clear that out. If you just right click and clear. Okay, and select workshop. And then click more after the workshop. And then it should have, you don't have it yet. But what you want to do is go to the bottom and create a field.
Okay.
And you want to create a field for check-in tallies, and it'll be a list.
And it's what kind of type is it?
A check-in tally, right?
Oh, okay.
Keep scrolling down.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, tally check-in, that's fine.
Okay.
And so, and then the one that you want to change is the type of that first one. So probably here you would filter. And add a new constraint. I think you already did. Okay, and then it's the, which one is this? Is it the label? Yeah, it's the label that's going to match the check-in, right?
Yeah.
Equals, and then you want the check-in up at the top, that first check-in. No, it says check-in. You want that check-in's label, right? And then first item. Yep. And then you'll just do that for each of those check-ins, right? So essentially what we've done is we've modified the structure a little bit so that that workshop is sent into this backend workflow. The part we didn't do is when the workshop is created, you'll need to create those 4 tally check-ins per workshop.
Yeah, so that's what I already have in the other end.
Well, it looks like you only have
yeah, I
4.
have them here, right?
No, but under the tally check-ins, you only have 4 of those, right? So you need to create the same set of 4, but for each workshop.
Yeah. So
where
do I do that?
When you create the workshop, if we go to where the workshop is created.
Yeah, it's when the manager plans the workshop. That's it.
There's a quick way to find where things are created. If you go to the app search tool up next to where it says development, it's the looking glass. There you go. And then you go to action type, create new thing, and just click search, and it'll find all the places where you're creating new things. And then we can just look for the one that we're looking for, which is to create a new workshop. There it is.
Cool.
Yep, it's much faster that way. So when we create the workshop here, we can either set 4 actions to create 4 new tally check-ins, or we could do that in a backend workflow, whichever is your preference. I would probably put it in the backend workflow personally.
Okay.
Yep. So no, not when you're creating it, right after you create it. So probably yeah. So you would have create a new thing, and you would have to do that 4 times for each of the check-ins that you need.
Yeah. Okay. A new workshop.
Nope. You wouldn't create a new workshop. You'd create a new tally check-in.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And you would set that workshop to be the results of step 1.
Label and result of step 1.
Oh, for the workshop. When you're setting the workshop field, it would be the
Okay.
results
So
of step 1.
the label and then workshop like this.
Exactly. Perfect.
And then I would do a second one.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Cool.
And that should, yeah, so
that
once
should
you tidy
cover
up this one and the back end workflow, then you should be all set.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I think that's going to help.
Awesome.
Yeah, great.
Nathan, you have something for me today?
Yes, I do. So I'll share my screen. I'm hoping for one of those. I'm
hoping I can help you. I don't know.
I'm an idiot type of thing. So I'll figure out where to screen. Here we go.
I have those daily, Nathan.
We are all peers in, being idiots about Bubble. So.
I've spent 4 hours on this stupid little thing trying to get to beat you before noon this, and I quit. So I'm trying. So here's the ultimate page. There's lots of different schools. Everyone will log into this same portal. The school will actually change, or the look and feel will change based on some school customization. Let me get to another one, sorry. So depending on who logs in, the district information, which would be logo, color, and then this background, that changes. So this drop-down list is an admin feature that only I'm seeing. Normally, once somebody logs in, based on what district that they're connected with, this will look different. So I need to pass this information on from a couple of different areas. So I'm using the environmental variable BDK, which I've used in other apps and it works fine. So I'll show you that.
Mm-hmm.
So this plugin right in here, the only one I'm using, I'm trying to pass on this district information right here. Based on this district information, I'm setting 3 different custom states, which is controlling the color, hex codes, and then this logo. So that's setting it up. 2 other areas that I'm trying to pass this on is on the login. So once they log in as a part of as a workflow, I'm setting this variable. So I'm setting it based on this current user. Once they log in, I'm setting the district that they're attached to. And then my idea was once they log in, I know what district they're attached to here. So when we get to this page, it should match up with this district and I should be able to feed everything, but it doesn't. For whatever reason, once I log in, this variable number 1 is always blank. I also come about it in a different way from like an admin standpoint. From an admin standpoint, I'm doing some maintenance. This is behind the scenes, so this is only the stuff that we see, but I can set up those district colors and things like that. But when I go to view it as a part of the workflow for here, I'm also setting the district here into that variable. And then when I go to, again, the next step is to go to this page, but when I go to this page, it's variable number 1 is no longer set. So somehow I don't have that environmental variable connected from the login and that admin page. It's just not connecting. So, and I can't for the life of me figure out what I'm doing differently this time than I've done in many other times where I'm passing variables through that plugin. I love that plugin. I just can't figure out what I'm doing wrong on this one.
Okay. In the previous instances, were you also setting the initial variable on the login page?
No. Most of the other time it's a behind the scenes. I use it a lot on the admin because I'm doing reusable elements a bunch. thanks to you, and that works great. But to pass things like a school district has school buildings have content or contacts have events. Those are 4 layers of structure. So when I bounce around from one reusable element to the other, I'm sharing 1 to 4 of those different elements, and I'm passing those around through that plugin, and it always works. But for some reason here, I'm trying to pass on that district level so I can get different color codes and logos, but it's not picking up. I added this little, just a quick pop-up so I could see what fields. Let me show you on the admin side. So this would be an example. Let me go to Bueller. This would be an example. So as of right now, I have Bueller set as the district, which is variable number 1. Bueller is set as the district. The very next step that I do is to simply open up that next page. I'm not changing anything. I've got Bueller set as the variable number 1 district. When I open this next page, I have the same variable plugin on here, and now when I look at it, it just doesn't pass. So the district that I set on the admin or also on the login, it's not getting passed into this page, and I absolutely can't figure out why.
I don't know that I'm going to be able to help you figure out why. I'm sorry. I've never used that plugin before. It's probably a really handy plugin, actually.
I use it. It's super, like on the reusable to use reusables. It's super handy because you can just share. So like variable number 1 is district of type district, and then building of type building. So it just lets you pass all of that information in, which I assume you could do probably from URL parameters. But this is it's really easy, and
and you don't necessarily want all of that stuff in URL parameters.
Right.
My question would be, does that stuff like survive a page refresh? Because I use URL parameters because if the user refreshes the page, it does, like, I still have access to that information, as opposed to custom states. When you're like changing custom states here and there through the workflows on the page as the user is clicking around, unless those are set on page load, you lose the custom state information if they refresh the page.
That I believe, and I don't know from just basically the flow that I build things, but I believe that the environmental variable plugin, it holds on to it. Because I've bounced around from different pages and I've been able to call that. I don't know. I don't have an exact example though, because usually what I have to do is I have to override variable number 1 if I need to clear it out, or if I'm going to a page that's supposed to be generic and not calling that. I'll have to actually, as a part of a workflow, clear out variable number 1.
Got it.
Because it'll stick with it as I go from one spot to the next. So. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but in this case, it's just powerful. Not carrying over for some reason.
Yeah, and we can go back and go step by step, and I can see if I can see anything, but my guess is I'm probably not the best person to answer this question.
Sure.
Did
okay.
So BDK plugin, Nathan?
Can you say that again? I'm sorry.
Did you say it's a BDK plugin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Ben perked up. He's like, "That's my whole problem, is sending information across reusables, because Tanya said to use reusables."
Yeah.
One thing I will say though, I had an issue with a BDK plugin maybe 3 months ago and reached out to their support. Man, they are top notch.
Gaurav is amazing. He's really good.
if you have an issue, just send him a Loom video and they will work their butts off to make it work for you and help you. It's so much better. It's probably the best plugin support I've seen.
Yep. If you go
Okay.
to his to thebdk.com, you can send him a message through his, like, he has like a live chat messenger thing on his page, and just send the Loom video along with your email there, and he'll email you a response.
Okay.
Yeah.
So outside of using this BDK, what would be another way? Because I thought about that too, because you know, just as another option, when somebody logs in, I know that current user's district. I can understand that, and I could load it that way. But then on the admin side, I'm the current user, and I may need to see, you know, 10 different portals. So on that page, I can't just say what the current user's portal is or the district is. What's another way to pass that information? Is there another, or is there a better way? I'm just not familiar with how else I would pass that district information from an end user standpoint, but also from an admin user standpoint, and then talk to one page and if that makes sense.
Yeah. So the way I think of it is, here, can I share my screen?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like pointing and talking is easier for some reason.
Yep. Do I need to do anything, or can you just cancel?
Nope, you're good.
Okay.
So the way that I think of it is, I'm on just a page. It doesn't matter which one. Kelly recognizes this one. This is the page I used to do that video I sent you on Twitter.
Right.
So the way I think about reusables is I come down here and I add this like reusable to the page, right? So now I have this reusable on the page. And now I have a page and I have a reusable. A page is an element, a reusable is an element. The only difference between a page and a reusable is the reusable doesn't have an address you can go to view it, right? So, and the other thing is because this element, the reusable element, is placed on the page, right? There's some barriers to information, right? Which is what you're using the BDK plugin to get around.
Right.
But the barriers are not absolute, because the page now, this page, Notes Clone, has access to any custom states that are on the reusable itself, right? So if I go to, let's see, I know I can go edit the element here. I just click here and I add a custom state. Custom state. I say the state type is text, right? Then I can come into my Notes Clone page, and if I wanted to access that state, I could do it here, right? So I can insert and I could say header A's Tanya's custom state, and I can see it on the page, right? And then the reusable itself, I don't know if you can. Let's try it. I don't remember if you can or not. But like if I want to put a text element here and see the state of the page, I can't do it because I don't know which page that the reusable is going to be on, right? So I would have to send information from the page back to the reusable using either URL parameters or the reusable's own custom states. Or like with what you're doing, which is kind of like URL parameters using that environmental variable.
Right.
Yeah. So if you're wanting to make information available to a reusable and to the page You can do it with URL parameters. You can do it with using the custom states on the reusable.
You can set a custom state on so from a page, can you set the page workflow can set a custom state of the reusable?
Yep, it sure can. You go here and you set state and you look for your header and you can set that state from the page.
But that custom state for the reusable is that you will lose that on
page refresh. Yeah.
So even when that header is used on multiple pages, that custom state isn't available on multiple pages, right?
Which, to be fair, right, exactly. It's the custom state. It's very temporary. Same with the URL parameters.
Right.
If you were going to change, if you're going to send that information then again to another page, you would have to set the URL parameters on when you're navigating to that other page. Right.
Right. So that like that environmental variable, I have that on that, like a global container that I use for all pop-ups and stuff like that. Maybe that is my, okay, I'm just thinking out loud. Maybe that's my common thread between everything. Maybe I'm missing that or something. Okay. The URL parameters, that information, even if it's unique IDs, that's available. I mean, that's visible and available to everyone, right? So,
yeah. So you can set the text of a URL parameter, and you can have that that ID in the URL parameter. The problem is if your privacy rules prevent the current user from finding or seeing that record, then that's just text. Bubble won't return the information.
Yeah,
that's not a problem. That's an advantage that you should use.
Right.
Right. Privacy rules are good.
Right. Okay.
I hope that helps.
Well, it does. It in a weird way, it does.
Okay. All right. Good.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, no worries. Kelly, you have some more questions?
Yeah, these I think probably won't take long. Okay, so this one issue is, I just don't even know. It might just be like I'm going to share my screen. It might just be like a bubble today thing, because I've noticed today, or just in the last hour, like I cannot get rid of this. If I reload the page, it's just going to show up there, the update the page thing. So
let's do a hard refresh. Are you on it looks like you're on a Mac. I forget. I forget what the exact thing is. Let me look it up for you real fast. Hard refresh. Command Shift and then press R on your keyboard.
Command Shift R. Okay, that appears to have fixed it. Cool. Awesome.
All right.
Wow. All right. Okay, so the question is, I want you to watch this page load and see what happens, okay? So when I refresh it, that stuff shows up and then it disappears and then this other stuff shows up, right?
Okay.
That stuff that showed up, oops, I'm on the wrong thing now, pull language, is set to invisible. So I don't know why it shows up. Let's see. So page content, this is this messages box, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it is set to be hidden on page load, collapse when hidden, and it has a conditional. It might be that it hasn't set the state yet. Like exactly. Is that what it is?
Yep.
So what do I do about that? How do I?
So generally what we would do is empty or so let me see are you loading it on page load? Is that how you're loading those things?
Well, Yes. So I think, so basically I set, that is based on, I think, probably one of these, right? So it's, I think it's probably, wait, what was the conditional? Language item is empty.
So
Language item
is
is
it,
empty.
is the language item empty because the user doesn't have a language item yet?
It's probably because, yeah, I think it's set to set the state of the language item from the URL. If there is an item in, you can see there is an item here in the URL, right?
Got it. Okay, let's make those two things similar. So instead of referring to the state, let's refer to the URL parameter. So you can show that only when the
Right.
URL parameter is empty.
Yeah, okay. So, well, so here's the other thing though. If you if the user selects a different item, which there's no other item, there's no items in this project. Let me go to a project that has more than one item. Probably this one. I don't know. Oh, God. Okay, so of course I picked the wrong one. Of course I did. Let's try this one. Nope. It's been so long since I've worked in this app that I don't know which of my dummy projects.
Yep.
Oh my God. Sorry, y'all.
It takes a while to reacclimate when you switch working on one app.
Yeah, God.
Which is why it would be handy to use those notes, right?
Yeah, I think actually I was just working on the group focus, and I think I like hid something or something.
Gotcha.
Is there a reason? I don't know what the it's maybe because it's just. Okay, so what my issue is that if they select a new item from this dropdown, it doesn't actually change the URL parameter. It just changes the custom state. So if this is, and I need, yeah, nothing's going to show up in there. I need that to show up. That is an empty state, basically. If they change the language item, then if it changes the URL parameter, I actually have to reload the page, which means I lose all my other custom states, right?
No, you won't lose your custom states when you navigate to a new page. It's only when you do the refresh, like if you click refresh on your keyboard.
So if the workflow for selecting a new item, which will, that's here, right? No, here it is. So right now I have it to change the custom state, right? You're saying I could instead do go to page or because I can't send a URL parameter with refresh, right? So it would be go to page.
Yep.
Same page, which is
Same page.
pull language. Where is it? Pull language. And I'm sending the same current page project. And I'm sending more parameters. So it would be item. And then
you would also send current page parameters, right?
Yes, but that's going to send the current
Are you only having, do you only have?
I think it's just one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then you could totally just, if you're just wanting to clear that one out, because you're wanting it to be empty so that it shows that element, then you could just clear it out. You could not send new parameters, right?
if I'm trying to if I'm trying to reference the parameter for that empty state, then I do need to send an item parameter.
You
right?
could also put, if you're trying to show that group, go back to the group that's hidden on page load, but is showing
This
this
one.
one. So on conditional, you could have it so that this one shows when the that is empty, and then or when there's a certain custom state. So when you change the project, you could change the custom state and it will show as well.
Okay. So if the item is empty,
So I would change that to the URL. So if the URL parameter is empty.
So this would be a get data.
Yep.
Right.
Get data. Mm-hmm.
Oh, of course it deleted the life. I hate it when that happens. Okay, let me just do a new one. So
I know you think they would be able to like give you like a list of things, right? Instead of putting it all in one. Come on, Bubble. Use Bubble.
Come on, Bubble.
You can do it with Bubble.
Right. Okay. So this is item is a language item.
Mm-hmm.
So we're saying get item, and you're saying would be is empty.
Yep.
Okay.
Is empty, and then or, and then a particular custom state, whatever you want to make it.
What am I doing? Pull languages, language item is empty. So it's looking at both of them, right?
Right. If either of those are empty, then it would
or
show.
Repeating groups, reference languages, list of items, count is less than 1.
There you go.
Okay, I think that should do it. Then this element is visible. Okay, and there is, I'm just going to screenshot this real quick. Okay, so I'm going to remove this one and let's see if that loads correctly now.
Nope.
Nope.
Because one of those 3 conditions was true on page load.
Well, all of them were true because.
Well,
normally there would be a language item that you're. No, I have to think through this because often people would come through here, but they might come through the menu. If they come through the menu, there's not going to be a language item. It sets it to the first one. If they come through here, it sends a parameter, you see.
So
right?
I would simplify this, and I would make it a state that you actually have to change, like make happen on the page, right? So that it's not based on like you can set the state to show that group on page load if under certain conditions, and then you can have it like that state in different workflows as they're using the page. You could set that state to show it when you wanted to, right?
Oh, show and instead of having the visibility based on the conditional or
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Because you have there's a lot of different things happening. There are a lot of moving parts. So I would have a state specifically to show that group, and then I would make that happen as I needed to.
I see. So it's not, okay, got it. So I would have empty state visible as a custom state on the page, and then have like a do when, or if they change the project or something like that.
On page load, I'd just put an action in there that sets that state if there certain conditions are met. And then as you're like, when you change the project, if you want that to be shown, I would just change that custom state if certain conditions are met.
Okay.
And that way it won't show any time you don't want it to show.
Right. Okay. All right. Oof. I don't want to do that, but I will, because you said, okay, cool. My one other thing, and we're at on the top of the hour, so maybe I can save this for next time. It's not urgent by any means. So how about well, it's about these little, not that, oh my God, I have to redo about these little menu indicators.
Mhm.
I don't know what you call these, but I just kind of wanted to check with you and see if I'm doing it in a way that makes sense. I feel like I've just made it way more complicated than it needs to be, but also, I don't know, it's kind of feels like a complicated thing. So what I have done is I have a group that has the text, the title of the page or whatever, and then this little hidden, circle, right?
Mhm.
The group has a data type of the page. Go to is the page name, right? So if they click on this, it goes to that page. And if they are on that page, the conditional for the circle is set to basically like get that from the page URL, blah, 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 right? So I have it two different ways. So this one, I've never used current page name before. I've just never used it. And so I tried it and it does work. That is why it's working here, right? So basically, I'm pointing to the group's go-to, which is the data type, right? So that's the go-to. So I'm pointing to that go-to, oops, and I'm saying if the current page name equals the go-to's display. So that's an option set. And the display is the URL or the page name, right?
Mhm.
And then it's only supposed to show if this certain pop-up isn't visible. So that appears to be working, and I think it's fine. And that way I can change if I change the name of the page for whatever reason, I can just do that in the option set and it's fine. But I'm just curious why, whenever I say page name is, it doesn't just give me a list of page names. I have to type in the page name. Is that right?
Oh, no. So current page name is whatever page you are on, and then you're making it the equivalent of the whatever that group is set to in terms of an option set.
Right. That's right.
Right.
I guess I just don't understand, what's the point of having this?
Well, because it's the same reason why you would have current user or current pages thing, right? So this is each page has a name, so it's just referring to whichever page you are on. You wouldn't have it so that when you would never use that current page name is going to be whatever the current page name is. You would never say when current page name is something specific and the name of that group is something specific, right? Because that's the comparison that you're doing is the current page name to that group's option sets display.
Right. Okay. There's no way to say this is visible if I'm on X page. This is the way to do that. I can't just say
yeah, no, what you have is the way to do that.
Oh, it just seems so convoluted, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I mean,
I'll share. So I've got a similar project. I do it with reusables, but that environmental variable plugin that I was talking about would be a way to pass on a state. So the state would be a text page name. Poll language, poll research, and then you could say if variable number 1 is poll language, then show it or not show it. I use it for variables, and all the variables are hidden unless the state name, and the conditional is show it if the state name is poll language or whatever. So
right.
There's a lot less involved in it. And then I'm just showing and hiding things based on a state. And then I'm passing that state on from one thing to the next using that plugin.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this was another thing that when I first built this app, I had a different one on every page that just had it visible, just it was so stupid. And part of the issue is that like these down here, these are all the same page, just a different like a different state, right?
Mhm.
So it's not like the projects page, the funders page, it's not a simple.
We usually use for that one for the same page we use URL parameters.
Yeah, I think that's what
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a URL parameter.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. I just thought surely there's a simpler, like there's an easy, like this is a thing you need on every single website ever. How is it not just kind of built in? Anyway.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, they leave it to you to do those sorts of things. I mean, I think there are plugins with different menus and things like that you can use.
Yeah.
I always end up building my own or using canvases. So
Yeah, it's funny. I never think to try to find a plugin. Just never. I just think, well, I have to do this on my own. But anyway.
You don't have to, but I think I think it becomes like with practice, it becomes second nature, and it also probably becomes your preference, especially now with the new responsive editor. Like you make it look the way that you want it to look. You don't have to rely on somebody else's designs.
Yeah, well, and there's a couple of like my rich text fields plugin that I used, like does not work with the new responsive editor.
No,
like it just doesn't.
Well, and I think that's the trick is because, for security reasons and other reasons, you want to keep your plugins updated, but like every plugin you have is a little bit risky, right? I'm not saying don't use plugins. I use plugins, but I have a set of plugin developers that I trust and I use their plugins, right? Because like even Eli mentioned, like he wasn't even using the plugin, but there was like a QuickBooks plugin that he was using in an app, and he wasn't even utilizing it in the app, and something happened and it broke his app out of
Really?
crashed the app, right? So there's just a little bit of risk.
Jeez.
So
yeah. Do you have a rich text input plugin that you use?
let me see the one that comes standard with all of the Canvas apps. Give me a second. This is the first month I did not use the Canvas template with my sandbox. So, Canvas will be moving to the new responsive editor shortly. They're working on it.
Wow. Yeah, I was wondering what was going to happen for them.
And yeah, everybody's super excited for it. They were waiting. What it was is they had to wait for what was it, padding? Like we had margins.
Oh,
padding. They had to wait for padding to come out before they could commit to it. I mean, they were committed to it, but before they could start because they didn't want to have to redo stuff, right? So the rich text that they use is just called rich text editors. Here, I'll share my screen. And this is a funny one, again, about plugins, right? Is because this one started breaking.
That's the one I'm using.
Things, and it was just I needed to upgrade it, right?
Yeah, I just upgraded it.
And but this is the one that was breaking some apps a while ago.
Jeez, I mean, it seems like there should just it's good on the page, but like it's not responsive, or I can't figure out how to. I
should be more clear. This one wasn't breaking the app itself. It didn't crash the app, but when we were trying to use it, it was not accepting large amounts of data, like large amounts of. And we upgraded, and then it was fine.
So do you use the zero code one at all?
No, this looks like somebody played around with it for office hours sometime in February.
Okay.
Probably Cameron.
Because I would think zero code would probably make a good one.
So here's the thing about zero code. And this is the point where we're going to move into our after hours. So we're going to stop recording.
Yep.
And if you would like to hear what happens in after hours, you have to be a member of Pro NoCoders. So go sign up at pronocoders.com today. Thanks everybody for watching.